You're listening to the Monday Night Community Show with Daniel on BRFM.
This is the Daniel Monday Night Community Show on demand through YouTube. Thank you very much for choosing to listen to us through this method. If you'd like to keep up to date with when I add new interviews, then subscribe to this channel.
As spoken, the analogy is correct.
And what has that made us in your eyes?
Productive vessels.
We fulfill tasks, is that it?
You perform your function, such as it is.
So you didn't just come here because of nuclear tests?
No,
I do not believe you.
it is not important.
You've been here since the beginning?
Since your beginning.
How does it feel knowing that the slaves have started to recognize their jailers?
Your question is in error.
Why?
Although you may not leave this sphere for the present, due to the radiation belt that surrounds you, upon the surface you are free to proceed as you like.
If it is a prison, as you put it, simply telling us it is a large one doesn't stop it being a prison in the first place.
You are once again correct.
The fact that you have revealed yourself does not diminish what you have told us.
What I have told you.
George, you brought me here knowing all this.
Yes.
When was it known?
From the beginning.
We have simply learned what the ancients knew all the time.
Then why are we meeting now?
You have reached a level of development that has attracted our interest.
Why does he talk like that?
He is a robot, Ruth. Not like you see in the picture houses. Organic, programmed. Just enough to go there, do that, fulfill his function.
Why now? Why make contact now, this year? Not last year or the year before or in 10 years' time?
We are now able to defend ourselves.
Yes.
I do not understand.
We conducted a nuclear test of our own last month, 3rd October. We've been working on our own program since 1940. We call it Hurricane.
Where?
Montebello Islands, off the coast of Australia, 25 kilotons.
Defend ourselves from what? From them? If they have slaves, what else do they require?
It's what they want. It's all they have ever wanted. It is what they need.
What do they need?
When humans have traveled from one side of this planet to another, it has always been for the same reason. They need the resources of another place.
You mean the gold?
No.
No, you do not.
Then what?
We require nourishment.
I did not.
Food. He meant food. There's an enzyme in human blood. They need it to survive.
That is terrible.
And yet you only survive due to a mechanized agricultural system that allows you to flourish and prosper. Why do you consider it alien that others may view you in a similar way?
An exploitable resource.
We are people.
If your cattle knew of their ends, would they be so easy to manipulate?
The cattle do not know, do they?
They do not. Which is why they walk meekly to their death.
What is it that you want?
You know what we want.
Invade our airspace again and we will attack you.
You will be no more successful than you have been in the past.
We may miss today and tomorrow, but at some point in the future we will hurt you.
Then we will leave you to those that follow us. We will no longer protect you.
There are ones worse than you.
Many. And they will come. We know it.
Then we will fight them too.
But not all species consume the same.
Meaning?
They will not require you. Without that need, where is your future?
For us to survive as a species, we must be prepared to sacrifice some of our own.
Yes,
Just to feed you.
that is not all we require.
What else do you?
How many?
A very small percentage. They would be chosen so as to be unnoticed by the mass. Your general population would never know. You would never be required to acknowledge our presence.
Presents? To do what? George, what is he talking about?
Ruth, stop it! We can never reveal this. If the population of our country, the world, ever realize that we have lost control of the skies, or even the land, you'd have social breakdown.
And your leaders will lose their own positions.
So you are prepared to keep this quiet simply to look after yourselves?
We want something in return.
Your position is weak.
Not that weak. We might not be able to defeat those that threaten to follow you, but we could interrupt you in your agenda.
What do you require?
You offered the Americans technology. You might have offered it to the Germans for all I know. We want the same offer.
For that, we would have to sacrifice a craft and individuals.
Then do it!
This is shameful. You are both negotiating away the lives of innocents for the sake of your own survival.
This is a surprise to you? Why else do you believe this meeting was arranged?
Do we have your agreement? Do we have the agreement of those that sent you?
You want this?
Your own keep you divided. Your unity would threaten those that sent you here. Those that sent you here to do what you will do. You are not here for the sake of your species, but for the survival of your leaders.
Do we have your agreement? You know what we can do now if you refuse.
You currently have insufficient nuclear weapons to destroy the surface of this sphere.
But we can already make it uninhabitable upon the surface, can we not? And if it is uninhabitable for us, it will be uninhabitable for you.
Yes, you have our agreement.
No, this is just wrong. You cannot allow one person to be taken just for the sake of improving our level of development. This is not a war.
It is, Ruth. It is the war that can never be seen or acknowledged. A war that started before you were even born.
Or conceived. We want more.
Yes.
For us to take our place upon this sphere, our progeny must assimilate, to control the native beings that currently exist. They shall remain ignorant of our existence. Some work has already been achieved, progress made. We need only one more generation of vessels to finalize this process.
What is it talking about, George?
Can I take your notes now, please, Ruth?
Why? I haven't written them up yet. What did he mean, vessels?
When they first arrived, they did not look much like us. Over time, they have developed.
Developed? Into?
A breeding program, Ruth. That is why you are really here.
What?
They wanted someone young and fertile. We needed someone without any attachments, no family, no one that would miss you for long. I lied to you before when I said that I did not know who chose you. I chose you.
You?
If we do not get the same technology, Ruth, that they have already agreed with the Americans, the US will dominate Europe for centuries to come. They destroyed most of our empire via the war and have established themselves as the dominant force right now across the globe. We must maintain our position in the world. There is only one thing worse than being a slave, Ruth, and that's being a slave to another slave. And that cannot be allowed to happen.
What do you...
We need you to go with him. Your sacrifice will allow millions to survive, who will never even know that they were under threat.
No, George. I'm not some breeding machine simply for these whatever they are.
You will come with us.
Oh, no, I will not.
Ruth, you have to go with these people.
No. No! George! Damn you, George! Damn all of you! You idiot! Do you really think that they'll stop because you sacrifice one of your own? They'll simply want more. They'll demand more. And the likes of you will always give it.
Forgive me. Will she survive?
Our offspring will. So will millions not yet born.
Born into servitude.
But born, all the same. It will be as it was once before, as it was once written down, when the sons of gods went to the daughters of men and had children by them. They were the heroes of old, men of renown.
The Nephilim.
Once again, you are correct.
Now, to business. You have what you wanted. When can we expect to receive the materials that we need?
And did they get what they wanted?
You've seen the advancements of the last 60 years.
The nuclear weapons have kept peace, but not the peace between nations, that of different species.
Enough could have been fired to block out the heat from the nearby star. The temperature would fall. All life would be unsustainable.
And you provided the materials, not only here, but to other countries across the planet.
Of course.
If they are at a similar level of advancement.
The peoples of this sphere cannot fight each other if they are not equal in development.
You mean a dominant power would rise?
And an individual would become established to unify 7 billion. Such a force could oppose us.
Divide and rule.
Rule from the shadows and from the skies.
You know I'm interested in this subject. I've been researching a book on it. Why have you told me all this?
Through the media and entertainment, governments have tried to stop us, denying our existence while continuing to keep the subject in their people's consciences. They have attempted to convince the public of the reality of our existence while maintaining a calm and civil population. One day, when the idea is more firmly established and no alternative belief system questions the reality, then they may unify against us.
How does this breeding process work? How do you convert one species into another?
Over 5 generations. The first, ourselves and humans, then a second generation followed by a third, fourth and fifth. By the end, the individual has our cell structure, but appears and sounds human.
And the abduction rumours over the years?
Rumours?
But born to human mothers.
How else could it be done?
How would the individual ever know?
They would be watched and contacted. When they reached the correct level of maturity, then we would make ourselves known to them. How are your parents?
I'm an orphan.
You were never an orphan. We always kept a close eye on you. Do you know your blood type?
In the late night call, Robin Ingram was the man, Emma Hansel was both Vicky and Ruth, and Dan Carroll Corley was George. Artwork for the production was by Sheila Jackson, and the play was written and directed by John Fryer. The Late Night Call is an audio production for Political Art.